Jihad. When people say these are jihadists, Muslims use the word jihad. What is it actually? Is it like for the use of committing terrorist acts? Or does the Quran have a different saying about it? I always go to the original text in Arabic and I look up the word and the root of the word within the book of the Quran to see whether it has different meanings, like same words with different meanings based on context, or does it have one meaning and all other contexts in which the word was used should have the exact same meaning. Unfortunately, the Muslims and the scholars teach the words of the Quran out of its original Quranic meaning. The word jihad was mentioned in the Quran in many verses, referring to one core value of that word. What is jihad? The Quran says jihad is the effort. So when you are a jihadist, you make an effort for a great cause. The Quran also gave us examples in different contexts, in different circumstances where this word applies. For example, the Quran talks about jihad, the effort you make when you debate an issue, and debating that has to be backed by verses to prove your point. So when we debate about something, even in a scholarly non-religious environment, like between scientists, between in law, in almost every field of knowledge, debate is when you have valid points but by using primary sources. So the Quran gives us the meaning as the only primary source in the Muslim religion. So Islam has one primary source, no, which is the holy book of Quran, and no other books, no matter what, have not even close to be authentic or approved by God. So anything outside of this textbook in Islam should be invalid and not binding anybody, let alone taking the Quranic word and place it in a context that has nothing to do with the word. So jihadists use this word as a tool or a meaning to commit act of terrorism, to be join. I mean, so they join armed groups. Religious people also give fatwas, which is like a declaration that all men and even women should be jihadists. But the Quran does not say that at all. The Quran uses the word in a context of wars and battles, but only in the defense position, not aggression. And certainly there was not one circumstances in the Quran about wars and battles, like a real fighting, where civilians are implicated. So civilians have nothing to do with jihad. Jihadists who operate out of a normal military. They are terrorists. The soldiers, however, the soldiers in a regular army, these are jihadists regardless of in which country or in which religion, because when you pay the ultimate price, when you put your effort, like your utmost effort, training, enduring extreme hardship, there is no other circumstances that the hardship and patience and fear and emotions and strength are all combined in one circumstances, and that's where the jihad plays a role. The meaning, that is the meaning of jihad, that you are under a lot of pressure, under exceptional circumstances, you may pay the ultimate price. That's where the word jihad is used in the Quran. Again, none of the verses in the Quran implies the civilians. There are two battles only were mentioned in the Quran: Badr and Hunayn. These two battles were um, led by Prophet Muhammad, army to army, outside civilian environment. So no women, no children, no vulnerable people, nothing. Only men, army to army, men to men. That is a jihad. And again, it is in the defensive position, not the aggression position. So therefore, these people who join armed groups outside of their nation's army, the people who join terrorist organizations, they are being brainwashed by scholarly indoctrination of Islamic teaching that is false, that is not in compliance with the Quran, and has nothing to do with Islam. These people in particular, and these religious people who declare such fatwas, they are anti-Islam. Because who are these people? There are two or three major groups in the Islamic world, like globally, who actually operate systematically against the Quran. Number one is the Muslim Brotherhood organization. Number two, it's not like in the priorities, but just the this is the priorities is not in order. So Muslim Brotherhoods and the Ayatollah, the Mullah, the Shiatization organization, the mullahs of IRGC, and some mullahs of the religious sect in Iraq. So these people operate outside the Quran and outside the teachings of the Quran, from the Quran. The third one is the Salafis and Wahhabis. The Salafis and Wahhabis, they are also extremists, and they bind by themselves with books, but not the Quran itself. In fact, everybody interprets the Quran to serve their political agendas. And I'm here to say these are anti-Quran, anti-Islam, because they act the exact opposite to what God asked them to do. I hope this is beneficial to you, that now you learned the jihad has different layers of efforts, but it has only one meaning, which is that it has to be in a right cause, and there is no angles of rights. There is one right and one wrong. It's black and white, light and darkness. There are no shadows in between. So I hope this is beneficial, and will continue in other videos about these important topics.